Let's say I work for a company that manufactures engine starters for commercial jets. The company is looking at cutting costs in order to increase their profits. So they switch to cheaper internal parts for the starters in order to make them last 250 hours instead of the 500 hours. Management is fully aware that the starters aren't near the quality of the original starters they've been making for these commercial jets, and their mindset is they'll be able to sell more parts over time because the starters will only last half as long. But they fail to realize that the parts could also cause damage to the engines that they will be installed on because the cheaper starter can cause the engines to overheat during startup. The situation This situation goes against Carroll's CSR, which stands for Corporate Social Responsibility. Let's discuss how this affects the first layer of the CSR pyramid. Economic responsibility. Customers want quality products at a fair price. Cutting costs on production by making these engine starters with cheaper parts goes against economic responsibility because you are giving your customers a less quality part and you're charging them the same price as the original part that you were previously manufacturing. This situation also goes against the legal responsibilities layer of the pyramid because legally aviation parts shouldn't be manufactured with low quality parts, and there are laws that the company are not following by manufacturing cheaper parts. If the employees and managers are aware of this, that these parts they are making aren't the highest quality its customers are expecting and paying for, then they need to speak up and tell their supervisor or even the customers they are making the parts. This would fall under the ethical responsibility layer of Carroll's CSR. Lastly, the philanthropic responsibility layer in Carroll's CSR, using cheaper components to make these engine starters will not be used to improve the employee pay or the community around them. Even if the money saved was going to be used for that, it's still ethically wrong because the poor craftsmanship of their parts. Now let's look at an online privacy scandal. The Wall Street Journal reported August 6, 2018, that Facebook had asked a number of U.S. banks about financial information about its customers, from where they were making their purchase transactions to how much they had in their checking accounts. Facebook did this without getting the permission of any of their users. The reason behind this potential data breach was so Facebook could provide better services for their users. This goes against the principles of every layer of Carroll's CSR pyramid. Because the company was trying to take shortcuts to be profitable, they were not obeying laws by trying to get banking information about their users. Ethically, they weren't doing right by their users because the banking information could have been leaked, which could have caused bank accounts to be used fraudulently. And lastly, Facebook was not being a good corporate citizen because of the way they tried to get the information. Facebook has been in the news before for scandals, and this scandal is another reason why people need to be more careful with their banking and personal information while they are online. The two situations I discussed are a few scandals that could be going on in our society. These are examples of how companies want to be profitable by taking shortcuts to make more money and get an edge on the competition. I have come to the realization that money and greed are the cause of most scandals we read about and hear about in the news.